When you hear a show tune from the great white way, does a shiver run through ya? Well, we're giving them to ya. Sing hallelujah and shout hooray. Come on along and listen to Broadway to Main Street. USA.
Every Sunday afternoon and Thursday night, we'll be free as birds in flight. If on Sunday afternoon we ever fight, we'll make up on Thursday night. Leave the dishes, dry your hands, change your wishes to demands. Every Sunday afternoon we'll be polite, but we'll make love on Thursday night. I'm your slave, dear, but it's bliss. If I shave, dear, we can kiss. Every Sunday afternoon we'll be polite, but we'll make love on Thursday night.
Well, that could very well be our theme song here every Sunday afternoon. Hello, this is Larry Maslon, your host for Broadway to Main Street here every Sunday afternoon on 88.3 WLIW FM, Long Island's only one-of-a-kind signature, very sophisticated NPR station. Well, that was the unmistakable voice and piano chops and verve and vitality and charm of Bobby Short. Bobby Short, one of the greatest practitioners of the Great American Songbook and Broadway hit tunes, of course, show tunes, was born on September 15th, 1924 in Danville, Illinois, like a couple of days, 100 years ago. So we're going to celebrate his 100th today. We did a show 2.5 years ago called Bobby Short is Buck-Onkers on Broadway, and our good friend Will Friedwald said, you know, for that show, why don't you do songs that he recorded contemporaneously? In other words, show tunes from the 60s that he recorded in the 60s. And I thought as a way of honoring him, we do a second show, but do songs that pretty much originated before he started recording. So we'll do that. As I said, he was born in Danville, which was the birthplace of Helen Morgan, great singer from Showboat and Sweet Adeline, and Dick Van Dyke, who was in fact a classmate of Bobby Short's. Interesting. Well, if you ever saw Bobby Short, and I think fewer and fewer people these days did, you knew that he was just electrifying in his own personable, intimate, respectful way. Here's a song that I love. I think it was used in several, if not countless, Woody Allen movies. A Cole Porter song from 50 Million Frenchmen. You've got that thing.
1, 2, 1, 2. You got that thing, the thing that makes birds refuse to sing. You got that thing, that certain thing. subtle charm that makes young farmers desert the farm. You got that thing, yes, that certain thing. You've got what Adam craved when he would laugh, for Eve was tortured. She only had an apple tree, but you've got an orchard. You've got those ways, those taken ways that make me rush off to Cartier's for a wedding ring. 'Cause you've got that thing. You've got those looks, those fatal looks that make book censors enjoy their books. You got that thing, yes, that certain thing. You've got that charm, that subtle charm that makes reformers reform. You got that thing, yes, that certain thing. They tell us Trojan Helen's lips made every man her slavey. If her face launched 1,000 ships, well, yours could launch a navy. You've got that power, the power to grip, that makes me map out a wedding trip for the early spring. 'Cause you've got that thing. Just what made Samson beat for years Delilah's lord and keeper. She only had a pair of shears, but you've got a reaper. You've got that love and such a lot. It makes me think you're prepared for what any stork might bring. Thought you got that thing. Got a jing, jing, jing. Yes, you got. Look what you got. You know you got that thing. Yes, you've got that thing. Yes, you've got that thing. Yes, you've got that thing. Yes, you got that thing.
Well, Bobby Short certainly had that thing. I wonder how many people still know him. He didn't do too many movies or anything. He was in a very famous commercial for a perfume called Charlie, and they called it Charlie back in the 70s, but that was rather a while ago. He grew up a young black man in Illinois. He said he had a very fair, even-handed Depression childhood. Although he was one of 10 kids, I think, he learned the piano by ear and very quickly took off and became a kind of act, a small pint act, very much like Sammy Davis, and toured the black vaudeville circuits, the Apollo Theater, the country, eventually California. He was always in show business. Here are two songs he must have learned, I don't know where from, maybe hanging out in one of those green rooms. Two British songs from British musical theater pieces from before World War II. How about that? Neither by Noël Coward. The first, as he tells us, by Ivor Novello.
From the year 1925, an Ivor Novello song called And Her Mother Came Too. I seem to be the victim of a cruel jest. It all concerns the person that I love the best. She's just the dearest thing that I have ever known. Somehow we never got the chance to be alone. My car will meet her, and her mother comes too. It's a two-seater, still her mother comes too. And when they're visiting me, we finish afternoon tea. She likes to sit on my knee, and her mother does too. We buy her trousseau, and her mother comes too. Asked not to do so, still her mother comes too. She simply can't take a snub. I go and sulk at the club. There have a bath and a rub, and her brother comes too. We lunch at Maxine's, and her mother comes too. How long a snack seems when her mother comes too. At Ciro's, when I am free, we'll often go for a spree. She likes to shimmy with me, and her mother does too. To golf we started, and her mother came too. 3 bags I carted when her mother came too. She fainted off the first tee. My baby whispered to me, thank God, at last we are free. Then want to sing it in unison? Her mother came to. There's a danger zone, not a stranger zone, than a little plot I wot of that I call my own, filled with eerie sights, weird and scary sights. Every vicious animal that creeps and crawls and bites on the Amazon, the hypodermics howl on the Amazon, the prophylactics prowl on the Amazon. You'll see a scarab scowl and a sting, zodiacs on the wing, all the stalactites and vicious vertebrae join the stalagmites with laryngitis spray, all the acolytes that come from Paroquet in spring. Starving equinox among the rocks will seize you, and the Fahrenheit comes out at night to freeze you. Wild dew autumns are lurking in the trees, and the jungle swarms with green-eyed ceroses. Oh, the Amazon is calling. The Amazon, the Pax Vobiscum bite on the Amazon, the epiglottis fight on the Amazon, the hemispheres at night all slink where the agnostics drink, all the metronomes that lie concealed in mud join the hippodromes that swim in swamp and flood. Then the Kodachromes come out and drink their blood. Poor ginks, wild velocipedes among the weeds will scare you, and the metaphors with hungry jaws and snare you. Frenzied adenoids infest the hills and slopes, Everyone avoids the deadly stethoscopes. Oh, the Amazon is calling. Oh, oh,
Bobby Short, what a way with a lyric. That's from the musical Mr. Cinders. Well, I said those were two British songs, not by Noël Coward. We'll hear two British songs by Noël Coward. And as he went on, he recorded first with Atlantic Records in the 50s and then again in the late 60s. He was one of those people who decided to devote whole albums to certain singers. And you got to think about that for a second. In the LP age, you're talking 15, 16 songs, by songwriters, 15, 16 songs by specific songwriters. A lot of rolling up your sleeve, a lot of digging to do. And he was, maybe after Carmen McRae, one of the first American singers to do a whole Noël Coward album. Bobby Short is mad about Noël Coward, a pun on Mad About the Boy. Here are two little songs I like by Noël Coward, in which he gets the absolute sense of humor of spot on.
I've fallen in love with you. I'm taking it badly. Freezing, burning, tossing, turning, never to when to laugh or cry. Just look what our dumb friends do. They welcome it gladly. Passion in a dromedary doesn't go so deep. Cows when they're mating never sob themselves to sleep. Buffaloes can revel in it, so can any sheep. Why can't I? Any little fish can swim, any little bird can fly, any little dog and any little cat can do a bit of this and just a bit of that. Any little horse can neigh, and any little cow can moo. But I can't do anything at all but just love you. Any little cock can crow, any little fox can run, any little crab and any little shore can have a little dab and then a little more. Any little owl can hoot, and any little dove can coo. But I can't do anything at all but just love you. You pulled me across the brink, you've chained me and bound me. No escape now by the crepe now. What is the funeral going to be? Whenever I stop to think, see nature all around me, then I see how stupidly monogamous I am. A lion in the circumstances wouldn't give a damn. For if there were no lioness, he'd lie down with a lamb. Why can't I? Any little bug can bite, any little bee can buzz, any little snail on any little oak can feel a little frail and have a little joke. Any little frog can jump like any little kangaroo. But I can't do anything at all but just love you. Any little duck quack quack, any little worm can crawl, any little mole can frolic in the sun and make a little hole and have a little fun. Any little snake can hiss in any little local zoo. But I can't do anything at all but just love you. We were dancing, and the gods must have found it entrancing, for they smiled on a moment undefiled by the care and woe that mortals know. We were dancing, and the music and lights were enhancing our desire, when the world caught on fire. She and I were dancing. Love lay in wait for us, twisted our fate for us. No one warned us, reason scorned us. Time stood still in that first strange thrill. Destiny knew of us, guided the two of us. How could we refuse to see that wrong seemed right on that lyrical enchanted night? Logic supplies no laws for it, only one cause for it. We were dancing, and the gods must have found it enhancing, for they smiled on a moment undefiled by the care and woe that mortals know. We were dancing, and the music and lights were enhancing our desire. When the world caught on fire, she and I were dancing. We were dancing, and the music and lights were enhancing our desire. When the world caught on fire, she and I were dancing. She and I were dancing.
We were dancing. I think it's from tonight at 8:30. We are celebrating Bobby Short's 100th birthday. I don't know, again, how many of our listeners out there had a chance to see him live in Cabaret at the Café Carlisle. I saw him there many times, the Village Vanguard. And he said that he grew up listening to the radio a lot and listening to songs on the piano. And he had a wonderful interview with our beloved Marion McPartland on Piano Jazz, where he said, you know, I listened to this wonderful thing called the radio, which we paid $1 for every week, and we got a free record every time we put down a payment. Gertrude Nielsen, who was a wonderful torch singer of the 20s, and also Ethel Waters. He had the whole full range of what was popular music when he was growing up in the 20s and 30s, and he certainly remembered it. Here is a Gershwin doubleheader. Bobby Short is crazy about the Gershwins, and here are two songs from the two of the three political musicals that the Gershwins wrote with George Kaufman. The first one is from Of Thee I Sing.
I have definite ideas about the Philippines and the herring situation up in Bismarck. I have notions on the salaries of movie queens and the men who sign their signature with this mark. Just a simple X. But on this glorious day I find I'm sentimentally inclined, and so I sing this to the girls I used to know. Here's a kiss for Cinderella and a parting kiss for May. Toodaloo, goodbye, this is my wedding day. Here's a parting smile for Della and the lady known as Lou. Toodaloo, goodbye, with bachelor days I'm through. Though I really never knew them, it's a rule I must obey. So I'm saying goodbye to them in the customary way. My regards to Arabella and to Emmeline and Kay. Toodaloo, dear girls, goodbye. This is my wedding day. I am toodalooing all my lady loves, all the girls I didn't know so well, all the innocent and all the shady loves, oh ding-a-dong-a-dell. Bride and groom, the future should be glorious, what a happy story they will tell. Let the welcome now become uproarious, Oh, ding-a-dong, dell. Oh, I really never knew them. It's a rule I must obey. So I'm saying goodbye to them in the customary way. My regards to Arabella and to Emmeline and Kay. Toodaloo, dear girls, goodbye. This is my wedding day. Everything is Jake. Comes the revolution, we'll be eating cake. When the streets and rivers run with red, I'll be underneath the bed. And after all their capers put the foe to rout, I will buy the papers to see how we came out. Comes the revolution, all is Jake. And soon we'll be eating cake. Comes the revolution, everything is Jake. Comes the revolution, we'll be eating cake. Skies above are very blue and clear. Happy days will soon be here. Butcher and the baker, undertaker too, thank their Lord and Maker for the skies of blue. Comes the revolution, all is Jake, and soon we'll be eating cake.
Comes the Revolution from Let 'Em Eat Cake. Whoever recorded that? Bobby Short did. I should mention that the third political musical, Strike Up the Band, will be done by our friends Master Voices at Carnegie Hall in October. We'll talk more about that at a later date. Well, it was interesting how Bobby Short tapped into obviously the showbiz universe he grew up in, but also the black universe he grew up in. He recorded an amazing number of Fats Waller tunes and Ethel Waters tunes and waxed, as we used to say, songs that no one else really had touched for decades. He had an album called Guess Who's in Town, where he sang songs with lyrics by Andy Razaf. In this case, music by J.C. Johnson. It became his theme song, Guess Who's in Town.
Calling your reporters if they want some news. Got a headline story they are free to use. Something great has happened, I got a break and how. You can bet I won't fret, gonna meet her now. Guess who's in town? I'm happy when I mention nobody but that gal of mine. Guess who's around? Gets all of my attention. Nobody but that gal of mine. Listen to this. We've got a date at 7. From her first kiss, I'm gonna keep her busy till 11. Speaking of bliss, who's got the key to heaven? Nobody but that gal of mine. my brown-skinned Venus. We made a vow that the devil himself can't come between us. We don't care now. Tell all the world you've seen us. Nobody but that gal of mine. Nobody but that gal of mine. Guess who's in town? Though my position is of low degree, and all the others may look down on me, I'll go smiling through. That's if I have you. I am the happiest of troubadours, thinking of you while I'm massaging floors. At my leisure time, I made up this rhyme. I will be the oil mop if you'll be the oil. Then we both could mingle every time we toil. I will be the washboard if you'll be the tub. Think of all the Mondays we could rub a dub. I will be your shoe brush if you will be my shoe. Then I'll keep you bright, dear, feeling good as new. If you'll be my razor, I will be your blade. That's a porter's love song to a chambermaid. Dustpan, if you'll be my broom, we could work together all around the room. I will be your clothespin, be my pulley line. We'll hang out together, wouldn't that be fine? I will be your dishpan if you will be my dish. We'll meet after meals, dear. What more could you wish? I will be your window, be my window shade. That's a porter's love song to a chambermaid. Chambermaid.
Another great Andy Razzoff song. This is Larry Maslon, your host for Broadway to Main Street. We are looking at the immense catalog of Bobby Short, and in this case, how he treated particular show tunes. That actually tune was used in a review up in Harlem in the 1930s. Let us go to one of the only, practically, Rodgers and Hart tunes that wasn't a show tune. He sang this for one of those odd Ben Bagley albums with Blossom Dearie. Here is the first set of lyrics to Blue Moon.
Oh, Lord, if you're not busy up there, I ask for help with a prayer. person with Gable when they're rehearsing, and some director is cursing. I want to open up my eyes at 7 and find I'm looking through that golden gate and walking right into my movie heaven, while some executive tells me I'll be great. Oh, Lord, I know how friendly you are. If I'm not going too far, be nice and make me a star.
Oh, Lord, what is the matter with me? I'm just permitted to see the bad in every man. Oh, hear me, Lord, I could be good to a lover, but then I always discover the bad in every man. They like to tell you that they love you only, and you believe it though you know it's wrong. A little home can be awfully lonely, and the nights can be so very long. Oh, Lord, perhaps I'll alter my plan and overlook, if I can, the bad in every man.
Oh, Lord,
Oh, Lord,
if you're not busy up there,
what is the matter with me?
I ask for help with a prayer.
I'm just permitted to see
So please don't give me the air.
the bad in every man.
Oh, Lord,
Oh, hear me, Lord,
I must see Garbo in person.
I could be good to a
Cable
lover,
when they're rehearsing,
but then I'll always discover
and some director is cursing.
the bad in every man.
Oh, Lord, I know how friendly you
Perhaps
are.
I'll alter my plan
I'm not going too
and
far.
overlook, if I can,
Be nice and make me a star.
the bad in every
Never meant a word you told me on the up and up. I was wise, yet believed all those lies. When you went around to scold me, life's a bitter cup. You don't care, even that I can bear. Each day I find you more unkind. I love you so, my dear, that I don't mind. Somehow or other, I believe in you. Nothing that you do can change me. Oh, you may say some things that hurt a lot. somehow they cannot estrange me. Why does my room seem big and bare? It's not fair. You're not there. How can I love you, yet somehow I do? For I still believe in you. For I still believe in you.
I Still Believe in You, a song from Simple Simon, Rodgers and Hart, submitted to us by our good friend Eric Comstock. What good taste he has. Well, if you were to say there was any particular songwriter that he really got in the vibe of, it would have to be Cole Porter. We heard a little Cole Porter song earlier. Here are two. The first is from High Society, which he was recording back then, I guess 57, 58. But I first met him the night Sinatra died. I took my now wife. It was one of our first dates to the Carlisle, and he did a whole set, and he came to our table, and I said, Mr. Short, you were wonderful, but I have to say you didn't even mention Frank Sinatra. And he said, well, he didn't like me very much. I didn't like him. Good enough for me. Great song from High Society, sung by Bobby Short.
I love you, Samantha, and my love will never die. Remember, Samantha, I'm a one gal guy. Together, Samantha, we could ride a star and ride it high. Remember, Samantha, I'm a one gal guy. And if some distant day you decided to say, get along, get away, goodbye, remember, Samantha, I'm a one gal guy. And if some distant day you decided to say, get along, get away, goodbye, remember, Samantha, I'm a one gal guy. Remember, Samantha, I'm a one gal guy. I happen to like New York. I happen to like this town. like the city air, I like to drink of it. The more I know New York, the more I think of it. I like the sight and the sound and even the stink of it. I happen to like New York. I like to go to Battery Park and watch those liners booming in. I often ask myself, why should it be they should come so far from across the sea? I suppose it's because they all agree with me. They happen to like New York. On Sunday afternoon, I took a trip across to Hackensack, but when I gave Hackensack the once over, I took the next train back. I happen to like this bird. I happen to like this town. And when I have to give the world my last farewell and the undertaker starts to ring my funeral bell, I don't want to go to heaven, don't want to go to hell. I happen to like New York. I happen to love New York.
Well, we come to the conclusion. Sadly, we could have done so much stuff with Bobby Short. He recorded so many great songs. He kept so many of these songs alive. That alone we have to thank him for, let alone the fantastic renditions. He loved New York. He made his home at the Café Carlisle from 1967 on till, I think, practically the week he died, sadly in 1980. Here, because we are in autumn and we are in New York, is the only possible closer, sung brilliantly by our good friend, who's hopefully looking down on us and smiling at his piano in the sky, Bobby Short.
It's time to end my lonely holiday and bid the country a hasty farewell. So on this gray and melancholy day, I'll move to a Manhattan hotel. I'll dispense with my rose-colored chattels and prepare for my share of adventures and battles. Here on the 27th floor, looking down at the city I hate and adore. Autumn in New York, why does it seem so inviting? Autumn in New York, it brings a thrill of first nighting, where glittering crowds and shimmering clouds in canyons of steel are making me feel I'm home. It's autumn in New York. It brings a promise of new love. Autumn in New York is often mingled with pain. Dreamers with empty hands may sigh for exotic lands. It's autumn in New York. It's great to live it again. Where jaded roués and gay divorcees who lunch at the Ritz will tell you that it's divine. It's autumn in New York, transforms a slum into Mayfair. Autumn in New York, you'll need no castle in Spain. Lovers who bless the dark from bed benches in Central Park. Greet autumn in New York. It's great to live it again.
Well, where is the time all gone to? This is Larry Maslon here at Broadway to Main Street. Let's catch up next Sunday at 3.
There's so much more embracing still to be done, but time is racing. Oh, well, we'll catch up some other time.